Hello folks, Scott Grove here of GroovyMusicLessons.com. Okay, I'm getting into the answers that I asked you to ask me anything about anything in the world. Okay, this will be hour number one. A lot of these I'm going to blow through. A lot of these are, meaning I'm going to go through them quickly. My sense of humor, so I can't say blow too much without you laughing or myself laughing. Some of these I will tell you that I've simply addressed them and go to my channel and hit search, because there are 600 videos on my channel. A lot of you people, recently I did a couple just songs, me here in the bedroom just singing and picking some old stuff, and people are like, man, why don't you do some more just of that? That's really cool. If you look on my channel here on YouTube, there's about 300 of those, so they're there. Okay, so I'm just going to get right into the questions that everybody has asked. And I printed them out, and I'm sorry, I am blind as a bat. Dad told me to quit playing with that thing if I wanted to, keep my eyesight, but it's mine, and I kept playing with it, so now that I'm almost 50, I can't see shit. Okay, from Joke, I'm going all the way from, if you guys want to check this out and find out when your question is going to pop up, I'm going in the order that they came in. So from the bottom, first question asked, all the way to the top. So if you want to spend your time, put this on pause and get rid of all the barriers where it says load more and start from the bottom and go up, that's how they're going. Okay, and since then some will be pulled, some have been pulled already. I just put them on here so I don't have to try to read them off a computer. Okay, Joke Kill 117 asks, why don't you have a guitar with a Floyd Rose or a tremolo bar? My friend, of course I do. I've got 5.5. Okay, of course there's these kind of whammy bars, which I don't consider to be real whammy bars, the old big speed type. So I've got those. Do they stay in tune? No, of course not. Okay, of course there's a few strats in here, so they've got whammy bars. Do they stay in tune? No, of course not, for anybody who says, mine does, mine does, mine does, mine does. I've already got a video on my channel of why yours does and why no other ones in the world do. So if you want to come to blows about that one, I'll send you that video, show you what you're doing to make people think that your trem works on your Strat and why the other ones don't. And of course there's this one that actually works, which should not, here on the old 1964 Reverse Firebird. And then you specifically asked about Floyd Roses, which are the best, period, far and away. But actually any brand that does a double locking system and has the Floyd type nut, like here on this Ibanez gem, as long as you don't have an actual nut here, as long as it is the Floyd type of nut. Okay, so all you Kaler users where you've still got the regular nut on the guitar and then a locking nut back here, it will go out of tune. And plus, it has to be double locking, meaning one of the heaviest guitars in the world. Means the balls have to be cut off your guitar. You Kaler flyer users, if your ball is still sitting back here and you go to whammy, your ball that's in that little clamp down here, it can and it will shift positions, causing your guitar to go greatly out of tune. Why do I not generally use them? Is because I'm a country player and a pedal steel guitar player. So what happens, if I want to sit around and have a good time, these are the only kind of course here's just like an Edge, Ibanez Edge tremolo, one of their Edge systems, and they stay in perfect tune as long as this double locking has the Floyd type of nut. And I just put these strings on earlier today, so I could totally stretch out a set of strings from the moment I put them on, whether it be on a Floyd or whether it be on a new guitar, and have no stretch left in the strings from the moment that there are no strings on the guitar till the moment that the strings are stretched out for life and they're all on there and they're stretched, period. About 3 minutes for a full string change and string stretch till they're done. So okay, so the whole country thing, what's that got to do with anything? You know this thing. They're just a bitch. They're fun for the rock and roll things, you know, so I'll pull these guitars up for that, and they light up. Ooh, hey, gravy. I do tons of steel bends, and doing steel bends is not a good thing to have whammy bars of any kind. So on my Strats and any other guitars, I block them. I lock them down. I wrap the springs in toilet paper so there's no noise, all that whole thing. Now if I get those going, I want to keep the low E string going too for a big full sound. Now it's all kinds of out of tune because you go to bend one note. Okay, so you know how they work. You bend one note, the other notes go out of tune. So I can't. Okay, so yeah, I've got the guitars all over the place. And then again, even the pedal steel sitting right back here. I consider that having, see, it's got 3 floor levers, 5 knee levers, so it's got 8 whammy bars on it. Okay, but yeah, I've got the guitars around, and I've had, right before I just sold my last 200 guitars earlier this year, I had at least 30 of them around that had all those on it. So yeah, they exist, my friend, so thanks for the question. Okay, I will not show you my crotch. Try not to between shots. I'll try to remember where my thing is. What do we got next? We got MEU98. Scott, I really know that you aren't a big fan of Gibson when it comes to quality at certain things in their guitars. What is your opinion about Epiphone? Okay, it's not so much Gibson, you know, well, I guess it is, but they've made some guitars that I really, really love. Being, again, during the Norland years, I'm just a guy that's a fan of those old Corvus 3s and the Challenger 3s and certain other things, but yeah, they have really shitty quality control. This Les Paul back here, the Ace Frehley, cost you $8 grand. Ain't worth a shit. It's really horrible. Epiphone, using the poly finishes instead of the nitro horrible finishes. Actually, so the whole question, Epiphone, Gibson, blah blah blah. Okay, yeah, I'm not a fan of Gibson, even though I've got a whole bunch up here. But those are strictly for collector purposes, and I know people will buy them when I'm dead so the wife can get the money from them. So that's why I buy certain guitars to store, and just so I can have some stuff around and do reviews. It's a tax purpose thing, and the rest I have to play. Okay, so Epiphone, my honest opinion, okay, and I take it you're talking the modern day Epiphones, the old ones. There were 3 different eras. So there's the modern day Epiphones, there are the mid 70s Epiphones, which were, and early 80s, which were a whole different thing, and then there were the Epiphones of the 60s and 50s and 40s and on back. Okay, so I'm sure you're talking about now. The Epiphones now, I think, are a way, way, way better value. Just yank the pickups and the electronics out, swap them out for something better, and you've got a better guitar to begin with. You've got every bit as good a neck or better. You've got a better body. You've got a way better finish. Your finish will last for years compared to Gibson. So yeah, save the money. Buy the Epiphone. If it's a guitar you're going to play. If it's a guitar you're going to collect, of course, you know to get the other one and deal with it sucking, because it's going to suck, more than likely. It's, you know, you can shoot me all you want, but that's, you asked me. That's why you ask me. These are my takes on everything, okay? So, I'll tell you when it's my take, and when it's fact, when it's my personal preference. So, I say go for the Epiphone. They're a better guitar, period, except for the electronics, so throw a couple of whatever you like. The burst buckers or the classic 57s are nice. If you're a single coil person, put coil splits on there. Make it versatile. And you got a better body, you got a way better finish, blah blah blah. So if that's what you want to play, play it. But it's a better guitar. So for another $200 worth of, even less on eBay, of course, get a used set of pickups and get a wiring harness that's already all soldered together, drop it in your guitar, and it's going to smoke a Gibson, period. Okay, next one up. Johnny Mr. Hattersmith. How would Scott Grove's perfect world function, guitar-wise, politic-wise, religion-wise, and whatever-wise? Okay, I'll get through this as quick as humanly possible. How would my perfect world function, guitar-wise? I would... God, I know it's not feasible, but I would have people get rid of brand names on the headstocks, and I would make things just meet a certain basic quality control. You know, you pay more for certain things which are generally woods that look cool, since in my world wood makes no difference in a guitar if it's electric and it's plugged in. Of course acoustics make a difference, but if you have a beautiful looking whole wood guitar that has, God, well, they're back there. Look at the Les Paul hanging back there. You're going to pay more for that maple top than you are for anything else. You're going to pay more for this Merle Haggard guitar, which is $6,000, and then $8,000 here. To me, neither one should actually cost more than $1,000. But it's just a matter of what they look. So they should play great. They should whatever. So there should be a certain standard that all guitars have to meet. I think there's a quality control that should have to be met, and just put out just guitars. I mean, you know, I know the world runs off of, you know, you have to have a brand name, you have to have a BMW, and you have to have a Porsche, and you have to have a Volkswagen. But so I guess, what I should have said is, for everybody to play a guitar, have your dad or your wife or your husband or whatever you have them hand you 100 guitars in a row at a music store, and buy whatever felt and sounded best, and never look at the headstock till you take it home. How's that? Better than I can say anything. Okay, when it comes to politic-wise, okay, this is a whole different thing, and I'm bound to piss people off on this thing, because religion and politics, is that on here also? Religion? Yes, religion. Okay, religion and politics, here we go. I actually did a video on this, which I had erased. I've got it on file somewhere, but again, it's one of those two things you're not supposed to talk about. I'll talk about mine personally. I can't force any of this on anybody, so this is, he asked my question. So, politic-wise, I would love for every country to have an uprise and totally overthrow their government. I feel that most governments are not at all in your best interest. So, I would just love to see that happen. I would like to have not so much a dictatorship. Dictators. I got some of them growing down there. I need to wash that. But man, if you got a president, that person should, I guess, have, as far as I'm concerned, have pretty much absolute power. Okay? In that it's not going to destroy your country or enslave your country. Okay? But when it comes down to Obama, who's currently president, or any past presidents who have problems with Democrats, Republicans and stuff, and they can't get shit done that needs to be done, and it gets held up because it's stuck in Congress or the Senate or people like that, you know, that they can't agree on shit. Fuck that. I'd say when it comes down to something where it gets in the way, disassemble the whole disassemble parties. Okay, we hire a person to represent us. Let that person represent us. Have a couple of advisors. There should be a thing there that's people who can stop something if it's just moronic. But to have that many other people in the way who are all crooks, we know they are. It's been exposed in every country, in every nationality, every religion. I say overthrow all governments. Countries that suck ass. Sorry about innocent people, but I say give Uncle Ted Nugent the keys to the buttons. Yeah, the big red buttons. sorry for innocent lives lost, and playing God, which, do I believe in God? I hope there is one, but no, I don't believe in a God. Okay, I hope there is one, just like anybody. I don't want to think this is the end of life as I know it. You know, hopefully I go on and become something else, but if I don't see it, I don't believe in it. So there's the religion thing, and I will leave that at that. But yeah, I say nuke Afghanistan, Iraq, nuke it. I mean, these places are wastelands, they're barren, sorry. Give people a week's notice to get the fuck out, but then just nuke the people who suck and hope the world is better. I would actually think that it would be best to annihilate humanity, period, and let the world rebuild somehow with an Adam and an Eve that we put in a container that come back out in 1,000 years when all the debris clears, you know. So that's where I'm at on that. It's like, hopefully we get it better the next time around, because we're fucked on this one. Okay, so that's as deep as I'm going on there, because it just gets worse from there. Because I really, I would love to push the buttons. I'd push them all. Just because I would tell them, hey, let's all just do it at the same time. Let them do a nuke us at the same time. Just start over. Okay, go on up. Patrick Swayze, no. Patrick Zeminski. Would you ever consider doing a video dressed up as either Gene Paul or Ace? What, no Peter? Wait. Okay. I think it would be hilarious since you have the guitars, and maybe play some covers and review or something. Yeah, I'll do it. No problem. I don't know why every time I've ever dressed up it's always been as Gene. So, yeah, I'll do that. And I've been meaning to do Kiss videos where I actually, you know, videos for sale, but where I actually teach Paul's part, Gene's part, Ace's part, and, you know, for each song. And it would be cool to dress up as each one of them, since I have each of their actual instruments, of course. Because I'm a big Kiss nut, not because of them being great or anything, but them being influential. They're the reason I got into music. So, yeah, I'll be glad to do it. Okay, going on up to Bill, sorry if I butcher their names, Melater, M-E-L-A-T-E-R. Hi Scott, what are some comparable lamps to the Johnson Millennium, which I use, since the Johnsons are no longer made? What is a good alternative? Have you ever checked out the Rivera Pubster 25 watt? Thanks, man. You're welcome, man. An alternative to the Johnson Millennium, that would be the Johnson Marquee. But seriously, the Marquee. There aren't many good things. Again, you're looking at the Fractal Pro Effects 2. You know, that's the closest thing to them, and I still prefer the Millenniums over the Fractal audio systems. If you're not familiar with them, go check them out. I've never checked out the Rivera Pubster 25. I don't get to check out anything much at all. So when I do make it to Las Vegas and I get to check out a few things, I get what a lot of you guys are, you know, if it's there, because I shop, you know, vintage places, and it's hard to find things at those, and I refuse to set foot in a Guitar Center. There's no flipping way, so I don't get to see the new things except for when you all do reviews, or, you know, the reviews that are available online. So I'm not, but Rivera, he's brilliant. Always has been, but it's a matter of if you like his sound. It's very, it's just the Mesa Boogie sound, basically. So if you like that sound, fine. 25 watt, I'm sure it's probably some kind of a tube amp, which I'm not extremely fond of, but if you guys are, if it gets your sound out there, I mean, use whatever works for you. I know I am partial to certain things, but whatever works for you at the end of the day, it's your money. Play it because you like it, not because you've heard that it's good. Okay, so buy it on your ears, your fingers, what inspires you. Don't be inspired because you're on a goddamn fucking chat room and forums. Don't let that shit inspire you that you have to feel you have to now come home, take a picture of your new Rivera and post it on the Rivera site, because everybody else has got one. Everybody else has got an asshole too, but unlike Anthony Weiner, you know, taking a picture of his. You don't want to take pictures of your little brown spider back there and send it to everybody. So if you're getting forced to buy something because you're on a goddamn forum, quit it. Just play things that make sound, and then again, wear a one of them things, a mask. You know the thing I'm looking for. You'll tell me. Blindfold. There it is. Thank you. I'm like Sybil. I have other people talking here. You're like, no shit. Yeah, and no shit. There's like 30 people living up here since the strokes. It's cool. I'm never lonely, that's for damn sure. Which is another one of these questions. Are you ever lonely? Man, when you have this shit and you have it like I do, man, you are less than lonely. To actually be like certifiably nuts and have other people in your head, you don't want to go there, people. Be glad you're healthy if you're healthy. All this other shit, I would give it up, and I would sell every last guitar and never talk about music again if I could just be me again. Okay? So there's that. Okay, from Big Baby Zip. I think he's got about 3,000 things on here. Hello, Scott. Before I watch a vid, I just want to thank you for all your awesome videos. They have helped loads. Awesome, thank you. So no question yet. He's got some more up here. Jazz Cat Jonah. Hi, Mr. Grove. Are there any fine arts that you have been interested or engaged in? Drawing, painting, photography, maybe, you know, like that. Yeah, drawing big time. I love to draw. I'm one of them guys that kind of draw all the goth kind of things, and it's just from being a troubled kid. So, you know, there's still the kind of stuff that I do draw if I ever do it. So, yeah, I was really big into that and got fairly good at it. So I'll pull out some of the old pictures and show you guys some of that stuff. But that would be it. Painting I haven't done yet. Like, you know, Paul Stanley's into it. Somebody just told him to try it, you know, in his older age, and he really enjoys it. So I haven't seen a guitar yet. Picture of his I would buy yet, but photography, I've thought about it. I need something. I would actually love to go metal detecting out here in the desert and do that kind of thing, you know. It just sounds like fun. You know, I used to love it as younger. Okay, I'm going right up. Big Bear 450. What are your thoughts on the GR55 guitar synth by Roland? I think all guitar synths are fun and great. I still have the old Casio guitar synth. You know, probably the first synth ever. And I've got a video on this. I don't know if I can even get this out enough to show it to you, but it's permanently hooked into my rig here. This one, which is the DG20. But as far as actual real guitar synths, when you get into Roland is the best, but they have the world's worst. What do you call that? Tech support. Those people. God, they're just mean over there. Sorry that this is down here. But yeah, Roland stuff all along the line with the was it GK2 and the GK3 pickups, and all of it's great. Anything that can keep everything from boring the hell out of you from just having guitar sound. I get sick of guitar. I will not listen to music that has a guitar in it. My favorite band, which I'll get to in a little bit, is Bela Fleck and the Flecktones. No guitars, ever, 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 and I love that about them. Okay? So I just get so sick of hearing the guitar. I really do. Another just quick hint, or just a thing from me, learn as many instruments as you can, and if you're going to play guitar all the time, like if you pick up a sax, start phrasing things the way that sax players would. Listen to a bunch of other stuff. Listen to the way they phrase a solo, a piano solo. You know, same with horn lines or whatever. Just listen to things that have nothing to do with your kind of music, and hopefully do not even have your instrument in the band. And just listen how people phrase lines, and that will be the best thing for your playing. So as far as guitar synthesizers go, it's a big palette of new sounds, which will make you play different because it's exciting and new. The Love Boat thing. Yes, they just retired the actual Love Boat. I know, the stupidest shit. But yeah, guitar synths, great. Roland makes the best of the best. And Roland is Boss. Boss effects, yep. And there's way too goddamn many effects out there in the world. People making effects boxes. Holy shit. But as far as single effects pedals, I will go Boss every single time over. I hate the original Ibanez Tube Screamer. Wanted to kick the guy out of the band for having one. I said, throw that piece of shit away. It just sounds horrible to me. But shows you what I know as far as collectability, but the sound is horrible as far as I'm concerned. But I'm a Boss guy. So there's that. Yeah, so Roland guitar synths, no matter which ones they are, they add something new. They bring out something new. And even though you go back to guitar playing eventually, when it's time for the next gig, you will have learnt to phrase things differently, and it gets you out of the guitar ruts. So I think at very least it's great for that. Next guy. I'm going to have to go faster than this. Paulius. God, this could take me longer to pronounce the name. M.S. Tchaikovsky, I'll say. He's got a picture of a guy playing probably a guitar. Okay, here's one. Yeah. Consider to ever try the Evertune bridge. Why not get a guitar with one of those, or maybe one of those fit into one of your guitars? A lot of people ask about this one, and I'm going to spend a couple seconds of time on this, because I have to, because there's like 30 questions about the Evertune bridge. Okay, for me, no possible way, never, not a chance in hell. For the rest of you, yeah, have at it. It's a great invention. Okay, you're like, well, what the fuck? Okay, here's what the fuck. Okay, if you're not familiar with the Evertune bridge, it's another thing where, like in a B-bender, you would have to have a good portion of the back of your guitar carved out. Okay, so you have to take your guitar, pay for it, send it to Evertune. They carve out, and that's on your dime, of course, and you pay to have it shipped back. And they charge you $250 to put the system in, $250 to put it in your guitar. You know, carve it out, and that's carving out like 1/3 of your body. And then you have to pay for the system itself. So yeah, it's going to run you, a few $100, like in the neighborhood of $600-700 by the time you get your guitar back. What it is it all runs on springs. Every single, look it up. It's quicker. Look it up here on YouTube, the Evertune bridge. Watch people how they talk about it, and it does keep all your strings in tune all the time. I mean, in perfect tune, it takes, well, it can't be in perfect tune because of, your frets are in the wrong place. Gibson, and I've studied this, I've done it, I've had nearly 3,000 guitars now of my own, and I've worked on so many because I've worked at music stores that required me to do all the, guitar work. People question my even authority for this, but Gibson frets are in the wrong place most of the time, or slightly slanted, even though sometimes now they even use computers to put the holes in the right place, the slots for the fret wire, but they still are wrong. I showed a video, watch it, just of me with my Ace Frehley Les Paul back here, $8,000 worth, and the frets are all over the place. Nothing is right. It's intonated perfect, but the frets are just anywhere that they felt like putting them. Okay, so that will not, an Evertune will not fix that. Okay, so a fucked up guitar is a fucked up guitar. The only thing that will play perfect is the PV. Yes, and I know all these things. They're in my head. The AT for Auto Tune 200 guitar will play in perfect tune all the time. Intonation, no matter what your strings are tuned to, it's perfect all the time, but they've got some bugs to work out, even because it's dropped to half volume and half tone when you actually turn on the whole unit, but it's perfect tune. Okay, so the Evertune, what it is 6 springs hooked to 6 strings. Okay, long story short, that's basically it. And no matter what you do, your shit stays in tune. Always, all the time, but it does not for me. Okay, I've tried this, I've tried the system, it's amazing, but everything that I do does not work, that I need to do. Because this is my style, this is the way I play, If I played any other way, it'd be great. So for anybody else, yeah, go for it if you don't mind. If you have a guitar that you can have hacked up, and you don't mind hacking up the guitar and having it being permanently, forever hacked up with that installed. And somebody will pay you for that guitar later, because it is a great system. And I'm going to plug this in because it's amazing. This is the guitar I've had for the longest. And also to answer a lot of your questions, yes, I'm actually being cremated with this guitar. Yeah, this baby's been, yeah, I know, for those who haven't seen this yet from my old videos, this puppy has been around the block. Okay, what the Evertune does is, yeah, you can hit a button and you're all good to go. Okay, no, actually, like I said, it's on spring systems, and what I hate, number one, is springs. I take all my guitars, and you can't see it through here, but if you ever look at my Paisley guitar, you'll see in the back of it, or just put in pink Paisley, you'll find it somewhere, I think, or anyway, put it this way, all my Strats, I take the back off, I tighten down the springs as much as human, all the way, the claw, tighten it all the way up. I put toilet paper around all the springs, then I put more toilet paper on top, and then I put this, you know, just leave enough room to put the strings through here and shut that sumbitch up, because when you play and you stop, plug the damn thing in, it's got, okay, and you do that, okay, the springs will continue to come out your amplifier, the sound of the springs, okay, on just a standard tremolo. Yes, they are picked up through the block. It's magnetizes your strings, so it magnetizes everything metal to a degree, and yet it still are directly connected to the springs that are inside of your guitar back there, so you actually hear the fluttering of the springs. Same with Floyd Rose's, same with every other whammy in the entire world. If it is metal, through the entire bridge, through the down to where it connects to your springs, yes, you will hear spring flutter in the actual sound of bang, springs coming through your amp. If you're not hearing it, you're deaf. Okay, so that's why I shut those things up, and I deck or block, whichever you care to call it, all of these so that it cannot move. Okay, so that's a beautiful thing. There's another beautiful thing here, since this guitar hasn't been played in forever. This is called Deoxit. If you ever need the best cleaner for your pots, for your switches, for your jacks, whether it be digital equipment or guitar stuff like this, and I mean this shit, there's nothing better. Deoxit. I have to order it online, they sent it to me. Okay, what an Evertune does not allow for is my kind of playing. Okay, I need things where I can do over the nut bends all the time. I do it on, like in open G. Okay, it does not allow for that kind of stuff. Okay, so the Evertune fixes that, supposedly, by not allowing that to happen. So that's fucked. So that kills a lot of my stuff. Plus, I do things, okay, and plus you drop D tuners, forget it, okay, or drop anything tuners, so forget about that too. Okay, so if you're a drop person, forget about Evertune. Okay, the other thing is I use guitars like this, especially 3-bolt neck. I love more than anything. Look at this neck. Now that is a loved, played the shit out of neck. Yes, that is clean. That's just where it's at. It's as clean as it can get. Okay, see that piece of tape right there on the G string? If you take off that second string tree, every single Strat in the entire world, yes, entire world, will actually ring in G, this harmonic. Okay, from here to your tuner. So So when you go, you'll actually hear still ringing after you stop your guitar. So that is still going to be going. So if you have a Strat, you have to shut it up right there. That's what that noise is if it's driving you nuts. If you don't have a string retainer on your G string, that's what you're hearing. But I need a place to bend stuff, so I take it off and just wind it extra further down the post. I wind the whole string on there, okay, so that it will ride low enough that it'll still have some kind of a break angle over top of the nut. So what I'm getting to is I actually bend my necks in order to get, yeah, a whole step. So I can get a low D on a guitar that is tuned normal. I'm just bending on the back of the, just bending my actual neck like people do this. I'm just bending it with my thumb back here. Evertune doesn't allow me to do that. So all my stuff, I can't do it. Okay? So that's why no Evertune for me. But for everybody else in the world, yeah, hell yeah. It's a great system. But that's going to be for everybody else who asked me. So if you're a country player, screw Evertune. If you play any of the kind of music, you're fine unless you are one of them people who feel the need to do drop tuning. And for people who do drop tuning, get a 7-string. What's the big deal? Keep it the same scale. Keep it easy. Get a 7-string. Quit dropping that shit. Every time you detune a string or drop it, your harmonics are way off. Your whole guitar goes out of tune because you change the tension all of a sudden. You change the tension on one string, whether you have a whammy or not. The wood bends, I just did a video on it. You are out of tune. Tell me I'm a liar or not, yeah, go plug it up to a real tuner and you are out of tune as soon as you detune any string. Okay, so there's that. Okay, where the hell am I? Holy shit, 40 minutes, I haven't even got through one page. Okay, so you can tell it's going to be taking a while. Let's see. Where is it? Oh, there it is, Evertune. Okay, Big Baby Zip again. I think God fucked me for making $5. Okay, good for you. Okay, Big Baby Zip again. Hey, has this happened to you? I picked up a Crate 412 cabinet, cheap, with 2 E's, kind of like Jeep, $75 for gigging. It sounded great, so I wanted to upgrade it. You don't upgrade shit that sounds great. No. Why? That's why I always laugh at people get these shitty Agile guitars, and I'm going to upgrade it all as soon as I get it, because it's like, why buy something that sucks to begin with? Okay, so this sounded great, but he's going to get it for gigging, but I want to upgrade it. Wrong way of thinking. So, right off the bat. So, it would sound better, but it already sounded great. Okay. Took the speakers and sold them, 20 bucks each. I bought some greenbacks, Celestians, if you guys don't know. Not new, 75 bucks each. Now it sounds like shit. Yeah, it's not made for the cabinet. The cabinet is made out of a certain kind of wood. Crate probably being an MDF or even probably just a plywood. Maybe even not even plywood, probably just a pressed particle board. So that's why they use the eminent cheaper speakers that make speakers for Crate, and they sound better on that baffle board. You put a quality speaker on a shit ass baffle board, it's going to sound like hell. So go buy, I know you can't get those original speakers back, but sell those and try to find another Crate cabinet. Sounds like you could sell one speaker and get 4 of those cabinets. So I bought some greenback, blah, blah, blah. Now it sounds like shit. I tested them, they read 7.5 ohms each, wired them the same way, so it has no balls, sounds like a tin can. Now I want the original speakers back. Yeah, go get them back. Original shit and original stuff is supposed to be, it's there for a reason. Okay, before you sell anything, try something else by just simply hooking your amp into a different kind of speaker. If the speaker doesn't sound good, the greenbacks, don't buy a bunch of them. Okay? So like I say, sorry, I wish I had more to say about that, but buckets run the world. I guess a bunch of bucketheads. I hope it's not about Buckethead. Okay. What's a music-oriented overview of your life, especially in terms of careers? Wow. Sound like I got time for this? Okay. Quickly. 7th grade. I turned 13 October 20th, October 20th, 1977. That was the exact same day as the Leonard Skinner plane crash. Okay, so that was my 13th birthday. 3 days later, I started playing nightclubs 6-7 nights a week. And yes, I graduated high school fine and dandy. I just took a lot of goddamn naps during study halls, so I didn't study. I was the kind of person that just said, and I was bright as fuck. I retained everything. I didn't do any of the homework in school. I just asked the teachers at the end of the course. I said, "What do I need to pass? What do I need on my final?" They would tell me, and I would get it. I didn't have to study. I'd just say, "What do I need?" And I would answer that many questions and go back to sleep, because I really am, or was, that bright. I retained every goddamn thing I heard. So I never wrote anything, never read anything. I just listened to it, and so be it. That's the way I did it. So I played 7 nights a week, all the way through high school, and then I was on the road right away. I was in girls' beds that were 25 and 30 and 37. I have to tell you about that one someday. By the time I was that age, they all wanted to make a man out of me. It's a beautiful thing if you want to be a whore, especially back in those days. This was pre-disease, or you could take a shot for anything. But I came away unscathed through over 500 different women that I can even remember. Never with so much as a cough. So it's a beautiful thing. So went on the road. First trip out, right away met Mr. Mark Cash, which sounds like nobody, but it's a Cash. And he was the son of Tommy Cash, okay, which he had 1.5, 2 hits. 6 White Horses was the name of one of them back in 1973. He always sat on stage with us. Yeah, it bought me a new mini bike. But anyway, so Mark became a singer with our band, a secondary singer, so we would start the shows and then introduce him like we were somebody. But you pretend you are, just like Kiss. They pretended they were the biggest band in the world, then they were. It's all in your, it's all about attitude, man. So he was in the band, and then he's like, "We gotta go do some shows with Dad." And I'm trying to do my best Cash impersonation. They all sound the same. None of them can sing. They talk. You know how Johnny Cash sings. So then we go. We're playing with Tommy Cash, who is Johnny Cash's brother. Then we get to play with Cash, and you got Roseanne Cash and Rodney Crowell, who are married, and so forth. So we were a self-contained band that ended up with a lot of things like that. We played. There was a guy by the name of Bobby Helms, who did Jingle Bell Rock, You're My Special Angel, Fraulein, all this stuff. He's passed since, but he lived back in Martinsville, Indiana. But again, his son ended up being one of our drummers. So we got to go play with Dad. And then you start meeting up with people. So we met and started working with Cash. Waylon Haggard, Keith Whitley, amazing. David Allan Coe, Ricky Van Shelton, George Hamilton IV, if you guys remember him. God, there's just so many. John Michael Montgomery, that we just got to play for. We're not opening up for these people. Well, we were opening up. We're our band, and then we were in Indianapolis. Anybody from Indianapolis, WFMS radio, and Q95 with the Bob and Tom Show. You guys know them. They're nationwide. But anyway, with WFMS, we were like their band. So we were always playing at the Colts Complex and all that stuff. So we would get to open every show there ever was. So we were always in the arenas and at all the big outside, state shows, and then we would get sent on, people would pick us up for tours, and they're like, "Man, I don't need to pay this band. These are major artists, And you know, like Johnny Paycheck, he's like, I need a band to go with me. I don't want to pay these hacks. You guys are awesome by yourself. You guys do 2 or 3 songs. Bring me out. You know, here's the show. We'll have one rehearsal for 2 hours before we go on the road. And you know, so we're down in Nashville, and that just happened constantly. So there's got to be a good 40 different people that we would do that with. Okay, that we would do entire tours with. We would just open it, play a couple covers or originals, whatever we wanted to do, and then bring on the headliner, and they were mostly older stars like that. Okay, so even Marshall Tucker even, but I mean there's a gazillion of them. I'll come up with them all. If you guys need me to list them, I'll do it, and I'm more than happy to do so. But there's just so many of them, and just did that for about 22 years on the actual road of doing that. So that band broke up after I was with them for 12 years or so, and then we got back together, most of us, and went and did Star Search the very last year it was on. So the 1994 season, we were the next to the last band to ever be on there for its entire run. So if you ever want to look up what were we called then, we added a couple chicks to the band. It's on my channel. Just put Scott Grove Star Search. Dixie Flyer. Yeah, that's the name of the band. So anyway, did all that shit. So it's been a total blast. Been married 3 times. Met all of them. Somebody asked me later, where'd you meet them at? Every one of them at gigs. My last wife, my current wife, which she didn't even want to come to the place because the club I was playing in, Cedar City, Utah. She was working at the post office there, didn't want to go. She didn't want to meet another guy who drank and smoked and all this crap. So I actually met her before the band even went on. And it's not cool to be a musician these days. Groupies were great back in the 80s. You know, it's like, you know, you come out in your hairspray and your spandex and you got laid 10 times before you hit the stage. Okay, it's not like that anymore. God, I wish you guys would have been born back then so you could have your fun, because yeah, it really was that way. Even if you were in a club and you're nobody, as long as you look like a chick, you can use your dick. It's just the way it worked. You couldn't tell guys from girls from the back, which I love the 80s. It was just a great time. A guy liner and the whole, God, I loved all that shit. It was just so cool. But she didn't want to come to the gig, but her other postal worker said, you just got to hear this band. So there she was, sitting up at the bar with her Diet Coke, and I just went, picked her up, actually off her chair. She said she had actually prayed, you know, the night before. She was a Sunday school teacher for the longest time. And you're like, with me? I know, it's just like yin and yang, but it works, kids. Couldn't be happier. But she said she'd always prayed for some guy to just come pick her up. I just went over there and picked her up and put her out on the dance floor. Didn't tell her I was in the band. That's the best thing you could do these days, is to not tell them you're in the band. It impresses nobody to tell them you're in a band. They're going to run if you tell them they're in the band. So I didn't tell her. And like it would make any difference. She would find out soon enough. So we're dancing and stuff, and just click, click, click. It was just, it's like, yeah, it's just meant to be, I mean, right from then. And I'm just sorry, I gotta go. I'll see you in about 45 minutes. She's like, what are you gonna do? It's like, I just gotta do some work up there on the corner. And I just didn't even say anything. And I went up there and band did our first set. Then I went back and talked to her, and she's like, well, you didn't tell me that. It's like, you know, didn't ask. You know, I just said. But within 3 months, she was living with me, and then we were married, and everything was, God, beautiful. So I love the fact that all of a sudden I got to be off of the flipping road, no more 75 mile an hour in a bunk bed, you know, and it was neat to finally have shit, you know. That's why I think that's more than anything the reason why I have all this shit and that I go crazy with it, because I've never been able to own shit in my life. You can have a few guitars on the road, yeah, but depending on the different sizes of outfits you're out there with. I wasn't always playing with stars, of course not. Between times, you know, I would be playing with a band that, you know, you got 5 or 6 guys and 2 girls, and they're all in a van together with a little trailer made out of a bed of a pickup truck being dragged behind it, and you're off playing casinos again, you know, and that sucks. But you do what you got to do. You're booked in the middle of January and February up in Thompson, Manitoba, Canada, or up, even Fort Alaska or in the Yukon, because you'll go. And because GMA, the Good Mileage Agency or Good Music Agency, if you guys know them, you'll know what I'm talking about. Yeah, they're here in Nevada now. They're called talent buyers or something now, but they don't deal with local bands anymore. But anyway, yeah, it's like they would just throw a dart and you'd go play somewhere. Then I'd finally get a call from another person who was ready to go on needed a quick band, and they say, hey, you guys put that band back together and, follow me. And, so you get that call from David Alco or whoever it was, and say, yeah, well, get as many as we can of them, whoever's not willing to give up their gig, and you'd go do those. And sometimes it was lucrative, sometimes it wasn't. Sometimes you turned it down because you were making better money with the other. So it's up to whatever you want to do. So did all that, and I'm glad to be home. But as soon as I actually settled down, stroke, what the fuck? So I don't know. So that's basically the answer to your question. It took me forever, but you can ask the question again any other time. I'll be glad to go into a whole thing of my career if you would like to actually know. Let's see. Okay, so that was from Buckets Running the World. Big Baby's it. I think go to a music store and try them all. He's answering the question from somebody else right above him called Summitino, Sumitino. Scott, found your channel a couple months ago and subscribed because I liked your style and craziness, or crassness too. Crassness, not craziness. I bought a 2011 Gibson Les Paul Studio last week and spent way too much. Yes, you did. To be blunt, I suck. I tried every single free video about playing. I still suck. Long story short, I suck at guitar. I have a very good sonic ear, not sure what that means, but can't seem to master the stringed instrument. I do like horns. Can you recommend another instrument? So I guess he's going to give up on guitar already. Bad move. But if you like horns, try them all, and yeah, like Baby Zip said, just see what sounds good to you. But if you're going to give up guitar, just let somebody else that plays well play all the different horns for you. See what sounds good. Do it right here on YouTube. See what hits your soul. But if you think you're bad at guitar, God, 6-year-old girls can wail on guitar, dude. Don't give it up unless you just want to. Okay, so that's all I can tell you there. Write me again anytime that I'm not doing this video. Don't have much time on this one, but I'll talk to you anytime you want. Write me again outside of this, and we'll talk as much as you want, okay? There's Big Baby Zip. Nothing, not asking a question, I guess. Okay, here's from Fafafulful. Don't know how to pronounce any of these names. Hey Scott, I love the channel. I hope I don't ever get blocked. I've learned a lot from you. Yes, I block people who suck and make my life suck. And generally it's nothing personal. If you give me any, I could be PMSing one day or whatever. I have the equivalent of that. It's just, it might be, I was supposed to take my meds half hour ago. You can always PM me whether you're blocked or not. Say, hey, I fucked up or you fucked up, please unblock me, and I will. I give second chances. If I block you, it's probably because I'm PMSing that day, or I don't know where I am that day, or Jose or Hose B is telling me to do one thing or the other. I don't know why I block half of you, but it makes my life easier. So if I ever do block you, just write me, okay? I don't get to all the questions though, so that kind of sucks too. There's more about that later. Okay, Irvana Nuts. I don't know what that is. Have you played a guitar with it? I don't know what Irvana Nuts are, so I guess not. Or do you have one? Your thoughts? I don't know what it is, so I'll have to look it up. So ask me at some other point, I guess, or I'll look it up since it's here, because I'm not erasing these comments. I may make the video private so I can still read everything and then answer questions as I go, but I really have no idea what that is. You've probably already covered this, but I haven't seen it in your video. So what's your favorite nut? Okay, that makes a difference. So I guess it has to do something with other than my testicles. By far and away, I shouldn't have to look too goddamn far. Okay, by far and away, the only nut that should go on a guitar as far as I'm concerned, if it's a locking nut, it has to be a Floyd Rose type. Any other nut in the entire world, LSR, roller nut. No friction, no way, no how, no string trees, height compensated tuners, and they're never cut wrong, they're never cut too deep. You never have to put any of your Gorilla Snot or your earwax or any of your pencil lead or any other stupid products in there. Right there, LSR roller nut, period. It's the best nut ever made. If there's, and all nuts should be adjustable in height, so you can raise and lower your nut the same as your bridge. Okay, just makes sense. They make them, use them. It's one of the most duh things out there. It's like if you can get an adjustable nut, anything that can be adjustable, get it. Okay, that's why no, for me, to set necks and neck throughs. You can't adjust them. What can you do? A truss rod? No. So, if you break a neck, you're shit out of luck. If you need to shim it with a guitar pick or a little piece of balsa wood or whatever for any reason, or make it go a different angle, or you just need something, over time things warp, shit happens, and it's proven in order of actual overall sustain for some reason, just the opposite of what you think. Bolt-on guitar necks are superior in sustain to every other guitar. Second is the one with the glue gaskets, being your Les Pauls and so forth, those set necks. And then the neck throughs, for some reason, do not sustain as long as any of them. They are the least sustainable thing, so go figure. But that is the truth. It's not something from me. It's just out there and it's proven, so look it up. Google, people, it's your fucking friend. So I don't know the particular nut you're talking about, but yeah, adjustable height-wise nuts, and always made of metal, no matter what. Metal, metal, metal. No tusk, no bone, no plastic, none of that bullshit. Your frets sound one way, metal against metal. Your nut should not sound like metal against plastic or metal against bone, meaning your strings against it. So there you go. It's made out of the same shit as your frets are, so it makes all the sense in the world. So all the other shit is wrong, or is your personal taste. If you want your open strings to sound different than all your other notes for some reason, then get your bone nuts. Okay, here from Omega XX Omega PWNYXX. Where did the word or the term guitarded come from? I wish I knew, buddy. That's for people who don't know yet. No, I of course had nothing to do with this. And he's talking about this, guitarded. Okay, this actual sticker, and then I later just looked up on eBay, just guitarded, and they just had shirts everywhere. There's like, 50 different designs, not just this one, but things that just say guitarded all over them. I just ordered a bunch of used, and this just out in the van. I should have got it, but briefcase styles like this, they're all anvil flight case briefcases, so they're amazing. Let me shut that amp off for a second. But it came with a sticker on it, exactly like on the guitar, on the shirt, I'm sorry, that says guitarded. Since that day I've adopted it and I've used it. People hate me for people who have retarded people in their family. My aunt, my mother's sister married a retarded man, and they ended up having a total of 4 retarded children. Okay, so, and I am getting majorly retarded in the head as the days go by, but we know this. So I'm not trying to be un-PC, so I'm totally empathetic, sympathetic to retarded thing. And for me to call things guitarded is funny as fuck. Okay, If you guys can't take it, get the fuck out. You're on the wrong channel. So anyway, that's where it came from. I saw the picture on the Anvil flight cases. Like I said, I was buying every flight case I could because I needed a whole bunch of different ones for various tubes and stuff, and lighting, extra lights for all my DJ business, my mobile DJ business. They take a lot of lights. But anyway, that sticker was on the front of that, and since then, dude, it had to be. It's just like guitarded, man. It says so much. Okay, anyway, this is the end of part 1, and I've got over 500 questions, so over 600 so far. I'm actually doing this a few days in advance because I'm going to have to do a few of these a night. I'm going to go there, put this on my computer, and come back and do another hour worth. So you guys, like I said, you can follow along. I'm going straight up the list, and you can see where your question is related. So I'm going to go dump this on my computer, and part 2 will be labeled as such. Okay, talk to you in a sec.